Hi there, Robin here from Expert On. Today we're going to be talking about the JBL EON618 subwoofer. We're going to do a sound test on it. We're going to look at all the features on the backside. We're going to see how it works with their other EON speakers. And we're also going to talk about the app that makes this whole thing work and why you should be getting it probably in the first place. So from here, let's take it on to the actual sound test, and then we'll go from there and cover the features. All right, so here we are. We've got the EON618 set up down below here. 8 cubic feet of subwoofer, absolutely amazing. 18-inch driver, 1,000 watts peak, 500 RMS, very conservative number, I have to say. And on top of that, we've put the JBL EON612. Now, why do we do this? Well, one, they're both JBL, which is kind of obvious. Two, we wanted to make sure we were using the app that comes included, which is one of the big reasons to buy this sub or this top. So we'll give it a listen to. We're going to listen to the sub, the top alone, the sub alone, and see what it all sounds like. Absolutely, like I said, very conservative number. Sounds incredible. Let's play it. Thank you. There we go. So now we'll just hear the bass. And again, we've done all this through the app, so this was easy to do. Now we'll bring the top back in. Drop the sub. Sub back in. Lower the top. Bring the top back, but at the same time we're also going to set it up. We're going to turn it from main to sub mode. Right. So, like I said, bass incredibly solid. If I was to describe it, it's a solid low roll. So if you're looking for something that just carries a really, really good bottom end, this is definitely going to be that kind of a subwoofer. So what we'll do is we'll take it from here. We'll get a closer shot at the back, see what's going on, especially when it comes to the app interface and how all those features work and how we actually had it plugged in here today. All right, we'll see you in a second. All right, so what we have here is the back of the JBL EON618S. Now, here on this side, we've got 4 buttons. The top one is going to be part of our Bluetooth sync, which we'll get to in a second, and the reset button down here. Then we've got our EQ options, which again is all part of what we've done with the processor or the app in this case on our phone or tablet. And then we can change the polarity of the speaker. So this way we can either set it for forward compression or rear compression. And that's what our polarity is going to do for us. On this side, we're now going to have our master volume output, and we're going to have our 2 inputs, which are combo jacks. That means 3-pin XLR or 1/4 inch balance on balance connections here. And then we have a 3-pin output. They call it the through, which is really an important part of the feature because some equipment, this is modified by what's going on up here or some settings that are built into it. With this unit here, unless we actually choose it to be that way, this is going to be exactly what happens on top. So what comes into the sub is what's going to come out of the sub. If I've modified it going in, it's going to be modified coming out. If it's unmodified, it's unmodified. So this can be used, so this way we can link up other speakers or other subwoofers all through this system here. Now, if I have 2 tops and only 1 sub, I would bring them both down to here just in case my balance on my mixer or my controller is set a little different between the left and right or the channel 1, channel 2 inputs on the back of the unit here. So that's very important. Now, when we look at the actual Bluetooth app that we have on our tablet or phone, that's going to be involving these guys here. So you're going to want to turn that on. It's going to find your phone and your app's going to be turned on. You'll be able to control from there. Now remember, this button's very important because if you've changed the gain volume, because you can change how loud the actual digital volume is inside the amp plate. So even though I have this up to maximum, I can go from 0 to 100 on the app. Now, if I set that at 50, because that's particularly what I'm doing at that point in time, and then I walk away, leave, turn off the app, come back the next day or whenever I use the equipment again, even though the unit's not on, if this is off, and I haven't even bothered picking up my tablet and checking the settings on my app, because the EQ Plus is on, it's basically whatever I've done on the app the last time I used it, it saves it in memory. Now, that will affect, if you turn down the volume and you forget, that will affect what your maximum volume is. So always check by turning it off, listening to your setup, and then turn it back on. Now remember, if you're going to play around with that, turn down the gain on it so we don't, kill ourselves with volume, or bass in this case, and then you're all set and running. Remember, when you do power this on, it does take about 5 to 8 seconds for it to cycle through. All the lights will be blinking, the computer will be resetting. All of that's going to happen while the unit's being restarted. This very last button at the end, that is for our front display light. So we have a light that tells us the unit's on and it's actively working. That's what's going on there. So again, outside of that, the way the box is built, the way the whole system is set up to maximize the power. Now, it's 500 watts RMS, 1,000 watts peak, but I've seen subwoofers that have a 650 or a 750 watt amp plate, and this, for some of them, this is going to generate more bass. And like I said, it's much more of a low rumbling sound, and it could be because of the overall size of the box and the way it's designed. 2 large ports in the front, I mean, huge, plus that 18-inch driver, which is really designed well to carry sound. So that's for the back part. Let's take an overview of what the whole subwoofer is going to do for us, and we'll be all set then. Okay, so, well, here we are. We've got the cover off. I decided if we're going to look at the front, we're going to look at it without the cover on. Same thing with the 12-inch. I just thought, since this video is primarily all about the subwoofer, but we had the EON612 here as well, so I figured I'd take the cover off that, give you a proportion what we're looking at. But really, when it comes down to the subwoofer, this is it. 8 cubic feet, so it's roughly 2 feet by 2 feet by about 2 feet. When you put that all into math, you're going to get 8 cubic feet. Now, that really tells me the driver's meant to really move. I mean, that's what it's all about. There's no resistance really behind this driver. The ports are huge, not just one, but 2 huge ports, which is why the box is so wide. This is allow a ton of air to travel through it. The whole design, cardboard fabric design here, which is really good. So no rubber, no sponge. Those are things that really aren't going to help you creating more sound. Now this is all the way through. It's ridged all the way across, and that's to give the actual driver a ton of stability while still being very, very light. And by being made out of cardboard, it's going to generate the best bass. Sometimes we see, especially in car audio or in heavy application subwoofers, they're made out of a plastic material with some fiberglass that weighs it down. It takes away from the overall performance of the actual subwoofer, but it adds a lot of rigidity, and that's what some companies are looking for. But in this case, definitely it's all about the performance. It's a very, very well designed system. It's designed to have a ton of travel, which is really what it's all about. I mean, I can just tap on it and we can see how well that does for us. That's what it's all about. So again, JBL design. They didn't cheap out one bit on having a series at this level. I think they've actually stepped up the game and kept it up a real high level by doing all of this. So the only downfall, it is a big box. So what's good about it? It's a big box. What's bad about it? It's a big box. But that's really, I mean, the whole purpose of it, right? It's a subwoofer. So if it's in your price point, it's definitely worth the money. I mean, it does cost a little bit more than all the other ones that we've compared so far, or in this price range, but definitely well worth it. Remember, you can add more, you can stack them, you can run 2, you can run 4, you can run as many as you think is appropriate. Something that JBL does mention on their videos and on their product sites is the handle. The handle's extraordinary. I mean, I can't say anything bad about it. It's got a good rubber grip to it. It's built solid. It's bolted right into the actual system. There's no background noise at all. There's no vibration, nothing when you're playing it. So all of those things are big, big plus. So there we go. I've got nothing bad to say. outside of it's a big box. And I mean, that's the intention, right? So there we go. JBL EON618 series subwoofer, worth the buy, definitely. If you haven't downloaded the app, I can't say it enough, download the Connect app. It's called the JBL EON Connection or Connect, and that's definitely going to be what you're looking for to really sell you on this subwoofer. Outside of that, remember, don't be stuck on the number 500 watts RMS, 1000 watts peak. Because of this driver, because of this box, it's an incredibly efficient system that generates a ton of bass without having to throw a ton of power in behind it. So ignore that. Look at the dB level. Definitely solid. Definitely for big, large applications. You know, if you're going to DJ, you know, and you're going to have two of them, and you're doing 150 in a wedding party or in any type of settings like that, two of them are definitely going to give you what your customer's looking for, what you're looking for, what the audience is looking for. All right, so we'll see you on the next video. At this point in time, there's definitely a circle here somewhere saying, hey, look at the palm tree, hit subscribe. Some new videos will be there. You might see this video here, which is going to be one of our next videos coming up, and that's going to be for the JBL EON612. And we're going to get to talk to you about what's going on here. Why does this look like that? And why is the horn, and what's the material, and all that great stuff. So look for that video coming up next. Bye now.